Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We're going to talk a little bit about that CME gap that got filled, as well as some back-end data, some things that are really important to recognize and kind of see what's going on, okay? So if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hope you can learn something here today, of course. You want to become a better trader? CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. We are now offering day trades, and they're cranking, doing really good. Even though swing trades are a little less frequent at the moment, we're still finding some good opportunity. So check that out in your own time. So let's go ahead and jump right in over here to High Block Capital and kind of see what's going on. Some interesting stuff. So first thing, just to kind of acknowledge, we are now in that fear, uncertainty, and doubt situation there where we're under 45 on the fear and greed index, basically just telling us that folks are more concerned with the price action being where it's at since we've stayed at that 25,000 and 26,000 range for quite a while. Okay, so it's concerning, of course. Obviously, there's potential for the price to break down as we continue to retest those support levels. So just something to be paying attention to. Also note, we got more shorts than longs getting liquidated today. It's the first time in a little while, so it's kind of nice to see that. That was mainly because that's pushed up to that, fill that gap at 26,500. But generally speaking, that is important to recognize. We can still see more bids than asked at this point, so more people trying to buy than sell. Makes sense, it's a good value. Average true range is higher, so price action right now, people are trying to buy. We can also see here that as far as positions that are open, more long positions are being closed today than opened. Okay, so it basically just implies that the likelihood of the price dropping like it just did, folks are canceling or closing their positions. And then the same thing here, only inverse, of course, with shorts. More shorts are being opened today than closed. Okay, so it kind of just tells us that the bias is generally more short-term bias than long-term. Okay, or more so short versus long as far as up or down, right? More people are considering the price is going to go down from here than up, right? So let's take a quick look at the longs here. We got some early longs that were in the green for some time, and now they're not. Right at hedge right there about 26,000. We can see a lot more positions open below that price. If we take a look at the shorts, they're probably stacked all the way down, which they are. They took some profits on the way down. We're starting to see some late shorts, but for lack of better terms, most of the current short positions that were open have effectively been closed. So we got some late shorts there at 25.8. Minus that, most of the other ones are effectively in profit. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that the charts right now are screaming more bearish activity than bullish. Now, again, that's just what the mindset of most traders looks like. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen, right? Because the bulls have a different story, bears have a different story, and more importantly, the whales are the one controlling everything. Okay, so we take a look here at the time frames. We're going to look our way down and just kind of acknowledge too, just before we jump into the daily, we can kind of see here with our monthly close, we got right there at about 25,750. That's currently the support level that we have right now based on last month low is effectively holding in place. We lose that, it may be a different story altogether. So just something to pay attention to there. As far as weeklies are concerned, we're seeing a rejection right there at about 25.9. So in truth, right now, we have a situation where the price action is kind of stuck in a little bit of a range there between 25.8 and let's just say 29.9. Sorry, speaking is hard. 25,900. All right, so we got this little range here between the weekly and monthly close, where the price is just averaging itself out. Bottom line is we want to make sure to continue to close above 25.8 in order to not have any problems, because you see here we continue to test this level, more likely it is to break down. So that's why a lot of folks are considering short positions versus long positions right now, because it just seems more short-term biased. So, or short-ing biased rather, because it's not short-term, it's more so generally the price should come down in the immediate time frame. Again, that's what folks are thinking. So let's take a look here. RSI and MACD both look fairly bearish, right? We do have money flowing into the coin a little bit more. Obviously, today being Tuesday, we saw some extra money coming in yesterday, of course, the price action coming up to fill that gap. But for lack of better terms, we're not in a fantastic position here. We have mostly bearish signs on the daily. Quickly to note here, because I forgot to mention this, or I did mention it, but I would like to kind of clarify here. The CME gap did get filled, so we want to go ahead and change that color there to ensure that we kind of know exactly what's going on. All right, now it's not the exact same color, but we do know that that gap got filled effectively from Friday to today. Okay, so what does that mean for us? Well, it just means that the price action has a resistance level at 26,500 now. Okay, the fact that it wicked up there, got rejected pretty hard, and came back down, tells us that we're not in great shape there, and this being kind of a gravestone type of doji candle, we could see further downside because of it. So this is kind of just a little bit of a, I wouldn't say fake out, because in truth, the price should come down lower, but a lot of times you will see this in cryptocurrency where the whales convince you the price is going to drop and then instantly flip from bearish to bullish and the price shoots up. So this could be a bear trap. But again, it's a little too early to tell. Let's see if the charts tell us anything on smaller time frames. That's usually when we get the indication of what's going on, right? So take a look at the 4 hour. We can kind of see here what's going on. First of all, with the 4 hour time frame, we can identify that we are now below that resistance level. Okay, so it's not great. We're below 50 on the RSI as well. The MACD is still diverging. It hasn't fully diverged yet, so I think we're still in decent shape. But the truth here is that there's, again, more bearish than bullish here because it's most recent 4 hour candle. Taking a quick look here too, I want to just double check. Dollar index is down, so hypothetically we could see the price recover here. Traditional markets are doing average here today. They gapped up a little bit from last week. So in general, it's kind of one of those funky situations right now where, the traditional markets are up, Bitcoin's down, but dollar index is also down too. A lot of times when the dollar index stays down for a little while, Bitcoin will recover. Okay, so again, just something on the back end to kind of look at. We want to take a look here at the moving averages. All three are, prices below here. We can see a pretty strong rejection off the 50-day SMA and the 4 hour. That's a common characteristical descending trend. Okay, so in order for us to break this descending trend, we need to at least be above the 50-day SMA on the 4 hour. That's a starting point. Keep in mind the EMA on the daily, roughly at 25,300. It's averaging itself out right here. So we do still have some support there. Truth is, we lose 25.8. I do think 25.3 will be retested. So we got to close today above this level. I think that's just a very important factor. Taking a look at the hourly, the last thing we kind of want to acknowledge here is the Ichimoku cloud and the fact that we're kind of testing the lower half of that. Conversion line still above the baseline, but lagging spans now in the price action. So this really tells us if you had a long position open, you should have taken some profits and or closed it by now. It doesn't necessarily tell us we have to open a short, but again, we close below this level here today. A short might be more viable than a long. Okay, so just something to consider. Absolutely, just something kind of confirming the fact that the price action could and should come down lower. Okay, so again, not a great sign. But once more, a little too early to tell. You want to wait for today's candle at least to close before you take any decision or definitive directions. Okay, taking a look at TD sequential, we're about 5 hours into this continuation of the downside. We could see further. I have a feeling we're going to stop here just based on the volume profile being so strong at this level. I mean, we can see the most amount of volume accumulating right there at 25,800. It's just kind of this gravitational pull towards that price. Okay, so until that changes, we got to assume it's going to continue. Now, you could argue that the price action is establishing higher highs here, or higher highs from here, which is true, but they're parallel lows, which isn't always a great sign. And since we started from the top side, a lot of times it'll work itself into a wedge and break down. It's essentially how it should work out, right? So again, another bearish sign, but once more, that's why we hold on and wait for confirmation. At this point, I don't see any fantastic trades or opportunities, okay? So just be sure to be careful and cautious here today if you're trading. I would recommend waiting a little bit longer. I know we are as a community right now kind of trading lightly on our swing trades. Again, day trades are different stories because they're held for only a few hours at a time. But if you're swing trading right now, I would recommend just kind of waiting for confirmation. Maybe take a small position if you insist and use low leverage just to ensure that you're not wiped out in the long run, because this really could sweep, the bottom could sweep itself and we could see some 20,000 potential there. Speaking of 20,000, just to kind of give you just some interesting facts here, the only CME gap that we haven't seen filled, minus the gap between 29 and 30,000, is here at 20 to 21K. Okay. So hypothetically, we lose this level here, the price action should start working its way down Fibonacci retracement levels to fill that gap eventually. Okay. So it's important we hold this level. We lose 25.3. We're going to have a different conversation. All right, so there's a greater chance we're going to see this gap get filled if we lose this immediate support. Again, just something to think about. It doesn't mean you want to short your shirt off until you get there, right? Again, if you're going to do that, small position size, small leverage, I wouldn't go too crazy. There's no guarantees we're going to see that. We have a lot of support here at 25.3. But again, you lose that key level support, things can change fast. All right, we'll pay attention to that. Thanks again so much for watching. Hope you had a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. And thanks again to all my community members for jumping on over to our new Twitter here. Help us get this growing here. It's Cash Trading, link down below, of course. Be sure to jump over there. We have awesome technical and fundamental data here coming through your way. And just a lot of fun to kind of be able to kind of communicate with our members here. So awesome stuff there. Thanks again so much for everyone that's helping out with that currently. And we'll look forward to communicating with you one way or the other. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Take care.